Hello and welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're here live with the Underdog Racing League Xfinity Series from the Monster Mile here in the Dover International Speedway. And remember that the Underdog Racing League is always brought to you by the Ultimate Siding and Gutter LLC. We want to give a special shout out to all the sponsors who help make it happen here for Freaky Fast Broadcasting. One of those wonderful sponsors is ButtKicker. Remember, every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car. By moving to physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful race response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you head on to ButtKicker.com, where you can use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at ButtKicker. And last but not least, let's give a shout out also to the Maconi Setup Shop, the home of the Richmond Raceway Esports team, fielding the number 46 and 90 in the Coca-Cola iRacing Series of Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak. They've got everything from Legends to Cup cars, dirt late models, modified wing sprints are also available. You can head on over to their website at www.maconisetupshop.com today, where you can also get coaching lessons from professional drivers such as past Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion Zach Novak, and get coaching lessons for just $25 an hour. And remember, at the Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but they're your victories. You can head on over there to their website, use our promo code FFB10 to get 10% off of any setup purchase there at the Maconi Setup Shop. But back to the racing action out here after a wonderful shout out to all the sponsors who help make it happen here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and the Underdog Racing League. As we're here at the Dover International Speedway tonight, it's going to be an exciting battle up front between all these great and wonderful drivers to see who can build their points up before we head off into the playoffs. I'm Zach Hall up in the booth. Joined alongside me is Carl Pooler, and we'll have our producer Robert Moyer Jr. up in the production box running the cameras here tonight. Carl, welcome back to the booth, buddy, here at the Underdog Racing League. It's going to be a fun night here at this concrete beast.
Thank you very much, Zach, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're ready to settle in for 100 laps of action here at Dover International Speedway. Stage breaks are at 30 and 60 laps, and we're going to have a lot of action tonight.
That we are, Carl. It's going to be fun to watch. These drivers do battle one of the toughest tracks on the circuit, the Monster Mile here, as we head off into our qualifying section. We got 4 minutes remaining here as the first times start to roll in. Robert Rader there in the 53 machine going to be out front in a 23.61. What a lap for him there. He has 2 wins this season. Remember, Jason Finzler was 6 through our first 12 races. Those two have been some sort of the dominant drivers this season. We'll see if someone new can break into that winner column here tonight.
It's going to be an interesting watch because this is one of NASCAR's only real concrete tracks. So the track really changes and it's really bumpy. These drivers are going to have to really hold on to those cars and make sure they don't get loose on them. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those things that is a tricky situation. You know, really depends on the balance that these drivers are going to be fighting tonight. You know, this place can be all types of things. You can be fighting a very tight race car off to fighting a very loose race car off. And, you know, those things will change how you got to attack this place. We'll see what they start to struggle with here tonight. We'll see if those rear ends start to kick out or them front ends start to push on exit, because they'll be fighting that all night there off of 4 and off of 2, trying to stay out of the wall. Damage here, very important right now. Jason Finsler, our 6-time winner, very fast lap there to put himself on top of the timesheet.
And it's going to be important to keep these cars clean, Zach. You know, it's a mile long, but it acts as a super speedway. Really long straightaways. The corners really sweep. So you've got to keep that car straight if you want to make sure you can handle all night and be at the front at the end.
Damage is going to be a critical thought for all these drivers tonight, is even on these qualified laps, you get into that wall, touch it, that invalidates that lap time, so can't get into the wall there. Got to stay inside the boundaries of the racetrack here as we ride on board, seeing a fast lap around the Dover International Speedway as we have about 2 minutes remaining here in the final bit of this session. Jason Finzer still holding up to the top of the board. Ray Lane going to put himself up a second. Matt Job there in the 89. Fourth is going to be James Loveland, and Trevor Earhart's going to round out the top 5 so far there for our Fast 5.
As we follow along with Parker Johnson there, he's diving really deep into 1 and 3, just trying to maintain that speed going around the bottom of the corner, then launching off 3 and 4, Zach. Do you think it's going to get really crowded there, especially on starts, trying to open up that corner?
Yeah, this place gets very crowded, especially due to, different agendas, in my opinion, mostly. We're going to see a lot of drivers deciding, hey, do I want to go, all the way here, drive a qualifying lap where you drive this thing, it's so deep that you don't even think it's going to stick to that point. But you're kind of amazed how much grip you can get in these high bank corners. But if you do that consistently, lap after lap on that entry and that middle carrying that much speed, you are going to destroy those right side tires in that right front, and it's going to be a tough day for you as the run continues on. We'll see there's Johnston gets into the outside wall there in the 48 on that second lap, so not able to put down a second lap there, 11th on the board for him, but going to be critical all night to see the different agendas, who's saving tires, who's planning for a long run, who's just trying to go out there and put good lap times down.
And Zach, we saw right there, Miles the Monster is already eating up these cars. Starting in qualifying, it's only going to get worse as the race goes on and the wear goes on, and these drivers get much, much more aggressive.
And right here we have 30 seconds remaining in our qualifying session. One driver yet to put times down. That is Dane Moyer right now, our 23rd man on the entry list, as it looks like he will not be electing to put time down. So we'll run out these final 20 seconds here before we start going through the grid. But man, what a great lineup of drivers we have here to start out front. One that sticks out to me, Matt Job there starting third. That's a great spot for him and a big pickup from his practice time.
And I think these qualifying times are going to be important because we know it can get crazy, and it does remarkably narrow with the inside wall and the outside wall. So if anything happens, there's so many cars that get caught up in something.
Very, very true. Going to get caught up in anybody's little mistake here tonight. Very possible at the Dover International Speedway. But here is our starting grid. Jason Finzler, your 6-time winner here this season and defending series champion, going to start that 5 machine out front. Alongside him there is going to be the 55 of Ray Lane starting second place. Third is going to go to the 89 of Matt Job. Fourth is going to be Sean Huffstutler. Fifth place is going to go to James Levelin in the 56 machine. Sixth is going to be Trevor Earhart. Seventh is going to go to Robert Rader, our 2-time winner this season. Eighth is going to go to Peyton Presley. Ninth, there's Grant Thrope, a winner at the Nashville Super Speedway, also a concrete racetrack, maybe carrying a little concrete wisdom here. As 10th is going to be Justice Murphy in that 9 car. 11th is going to go to Parker Johnston. 12th is going to be Jacob Sekrovich. 13th is going to be Cody Dorsey. 14th is going to go to David Boyle. 15th is going to be John Magner. 16th, Nick Alves. 17th, Kevin Orlando Jr. 18th, Justin Stunnard. 19th, Dylan Walterman. 20th, Christopher Heights. 21st, Scott Kerberg. 22nd, Alan Bargenquist. And rounding out your field, the 23rd position is going to be Dane Moyer in the 28 machine. That's our qualifying results here tonight at the Dover International Speedway. What a race we got in store for you. 100 laps of high-octane racing here in the Xfinity race car.
Man, I'm excited. I can't wait. Cars are getting on the track, pacing up to the pace car. And, what do you think these drivers are thinking, Zach? Do you think they want to ride it out the first part and maybe save some tire? Or do they think they want to attack the track ASAP and get a feel what their car's going to do?
Well, it's all about these stages, I think. These are not long stages here tonight. 30 laps. I really think you're going to see a lot of drivers get after it here because you're not going to have much time to make up time if you do give it up. I think you may see a few guys not push too hard for the first 5 laps, but really start to go after that. We'll see those. We got our EOLs to Jason Finzler and Ray Lane, so they're going to start out back. That's going to shove Matt Job up to the front here in the 89 machine. Wow, this is going to shake everything up here before we get ready to go. Green flag racing here tonight. Pace car is in, and we're going to be looking to go green. Here out of 4, in control of Matt Job's hands. He's looking for Barney, the flag man. Green flag in the air. Matt Job off and away, going to take that pole position as the top 2 drop through the back of the field. Job on the bottom lane, Huffstutler up top. He's trying to hold it to the outside, the 94 off the 2. Can he get the run down the back straightaway to hold position? Yes, he will. Or does the 89 fight for it as we're going to stack up for the lead?
And there's Sean making that outside line work for him, having the momentum, and that inside line prevailing. You see the 89 of Matt Job just launching off of that corner and crossing that finish line.
Yes, very much so. That inside line prevailing, you alluded to that. James Loveland used that to his prevail too. He gets up the second from the 5th starting position. Great move there from him. Also, other drivers moving up through the 53 of Robert Rader there. Trevor Earhart dropping back to 5th as we cycle through another lap here at Dover. Everybody looking to get single file, but it's double wide back here for the 13th position with David well up into the outside wall. Walterman into the inside of him, almost into the inside wall. They check up and keep it clean and green here so far.
And you can see that inside line is the place to be. Those outside cars, they held on for a couple of laps, but they fell back, fell in line. Looks like all the drivers are getting ready. We're right along with Jason. He's the fastest car in qualifying, fastest car in practice, and he's starting to move his way through the field already.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting view to watch here from this guy. He's known to be very, very quick, and he's going to be using what he's got here to get the track position back. Ray Lane directly behind him, trying to follow his ways through on the outside line. As here's Finsler, he's looking forward at SpongeBob, staring him down. This is an interesting view here as he goes to the outside of the 24 here. Nick Alves, can he get the run off of 4? And hopefully, you know, you're hoping right there as the person goes to the outside, that guy on the inside does not make a mistake.
Well, and look at Jason too. He's taking that outside line. He's making that outside line work, making those passes. And is he just that fast? Is it the setup, Zach? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that is just his expertise. He's really very, very quick and just knows how to manipulate the grip of this race car. And he has very much so worked his way up now past even Justin Stunner there, who's now put himself up at 14th. So Jason Fizzler continuing forward. Same with Ray Lane. He's up to 17th. We'll see what they can do here. Is actually now that's Jason Fizzler attacking Justin Stunner. So this will be for the 14th position. There's another move being made.
Looking at the front, we have some people moving up, moving around. They're getting kind of bumped. Oh, the 77 into the wall of Grant Thorpe. Everyone keeps it clean, though.
And that was our winner from Nashville getting up into the wall. He does a great job to keep it together. Now he's got actually a big run here off the 2 here on Parker Johnson, who is one of our big movers, 11th to 6th there. He blocks that move down the back straightaway as we head down the 3. He's looking forward to with Robert Rader there in the 5th position. We'll see how it all plays out here. 7 laps through with James Loveland now out front as Job has switched back from the lead to 3rd now.
Well, and then the opposite, we have Robert Redder there. He was started at the front, but there he is sitting in 5th, and he looks like he's losing the car there. You see the 48, the 77, all ganging up on him. Do you think that's just him preserving, Zach, or is that just he just doesn't have the handle on that car?
You know, that this is very interesting. Raider is a driver that, and he into the outside wall, major calamity on the front straight. We have a parking lot of cars involved. Jason Finzler, one of those. Man, oh man, that happened right around Raider there. Out of 4, bounces into the outside wall, going 2x2, and we have our first major incident of the night. We'll have to see what is transpired there because, man, the 53 just bouncing off the wall there, hard collision, and that is going to result in a early yellow here on lap number 9. Here we'll see riding up here on this camera is Robert Raider on the outside line. It's actually Johnston coming up the racetrack, putting the right rear into the left front quarter panel there, shoving him up the racetrack, and man, from there, nobody had nowhere to go. You can see Jason Finsler in the 5, the 33 is Stunner, the 3 is Sekrovich, multiple cars getting heavy collisions here on their cars.
And those are some fast cars I caught up in there, man. That boxing ring is going to be a fun place to be after this race.
Yeah, that's always going to be an interesting sight there, as you can see. Multiple cars damaged in this incident here, as we'll see a bunch of guys coming down Ray Lane. One of those guys had to get Jason Finsler the same. They're going to be looking to use a fast repair, and that's something you definitely don't want to be using in the first 10 laps at Dover for a 100-lap race.
And it's really unfortunate for a lot of these cars because tonight is a blockbuster movie night for the Underdog Racing League. So they are running a lot of themes. You're seeing some Fast and the Furious. I was hearing talk of like Rambo being out there, so keep an eye on that. I think that 56 of Loveland's running a Tron-themed car. So this is really fun to watch.
That's a great point there from you there, Carl. I didn't even notice. That's a great pickup there from yourself, man. And yeah, you could see the really cool cars and themed paint schemes. I see a Happy Gilmore. I think I see is that Batman? I believe. Is it? I think so. The Joker, but it's a Jurassic Park. I mean, it's all over the place. We got a great one, SpongeBob SquarePants. It makes sense now.
Yeah. And it's a super shame that all these cars went out. So not only were they really fast, but they're looking really good for this blockbuster movie night.
Yes, they are, and they're definitely playing suit here. We're having somewhat of a drama right here as that incident there going to be bringing out a early caution here tonight at the Dover International Speedway. As remember, we're going to try to get a lap 30 here for this stage. Looks like nobody electing to take tires there. No reason to come down and waste a set. You know, with a 65% fuel load, we should be good to the end of that stage there. But it'll be interesting with the guys who got the damage repair. Maybe did some of them throw a set of tires on? We'll have to see. But with 4 sets of tires, I believe they're going to be electing to save them.
And I'm going to be keeping an eye on that 77 of Thorpe. Remember, he was in the wall. He just bounced off it early in the race, but how much damage is that going to affect that restart, Zach? How do you think he's going to bottleneck it, or do you think he'll be fine?
He seemed to gather it up pretty fine. The place that I'm will worry about him the most is that damage on the long run. That really tends to have, especially the damage he has, just that right front crinkle like that. That tends to have a longer term effect on the downforce, which in turn is going to make the tire wear much worse. So right now, I think his goal is just going to be able to try to keep it out of the wall as less as possible to try to get down to pit road where his crew may be able to iron out all those issues. But we'll definitely have to be watching for him here as we get ready to go back green flag racing. James Loveland up front. He's going to have control of this restart with teammate Sean Huffstutler to the outside. Pace car is in this time. James Loveland in control in the 56 machine. Joe back to third, Earhart in fourth, Johnston up to fifth, and there he goes, Loveland off and away as he takes the green flag here for the second restart of the race before we try to get down to lap 30 for stage number 1.
And Loveland just got a launch on that restart. It looks like they're single file 1 through 4, double file back. 77 on Thorpe. He is struggling. He's struggling trying to get down there and get that line, Zach. We may see that damage come into place much sooner than we anticipated.
Right here, looking underneath him. That is the 11 of Peyton Presley. Oh, sorry, actually, that's Trevor. Oh, that is Justice Murphy. Yes, in the 9. Sorry, yeah, there, Justice Murphy there of the 7th was looking underneath him. Then farther back here, around Nick Alves in the 10th position, around his outside, that's Dylan Walterman. Everybody on these new paint schemes got me all shook up.
And we know Nick Alves, he's trying to recover from kind of a rough week at Daytona. He wrecked early, he kind of struggled on, but ended up with a decent finish, if I remember right. But, you know, always hoping to recover and move forward and get a better spot for the point standings.
Unfortunate Walterman there, a little bit into the wall there in the 99. He was able to gather it up and keep it together. Again into the wall off of 2. So, man, that thing is very much beat up on the right side now. He's going to have some major damage as these guys work through the field. Looks like Raider and Lane, they use their fast repairs while looking back at Jason Finzler to 5. He did not use his fast repair. He just took the damage that they gave him on pit road, and he's been able to somewhat ride here. I think he's trying to save that for these stages later in the race before he uses that fast repair.
And Jason knows he's fast. He's already making passes. He knows he has the car to run. So saving that's probably just on a strategy ploy. And he has the points for the playoffs. It's not really having to worry. So he can take a chance here, maybe learn something, try something new for the run going into the playoffs.
You can see there as they transverse through this field through the first 17 laps. What a wild start to this race we've had here at the Dover International Speedway. It's been a wild season nonetheless here also in the Underdog Racing League. And, you know, we don't have many races before the playoffs. Chicagoland, Pocono, and Iowa. So only 3 more races before we get into those playoffs for, you know, 5 very tough playoff races to decide who's the champion in this league here. And it'll be fun to watch it all come down to there. But we got 3 more regular season races to decide who's going to be in that playoff battle. But right now, the battle is on the racetrack. We're watching the 5 of Jason Finzler. That damage on that left front and right front and all around. He is just trying to hold on at this moment. Stay on the lead lap, I think, is going to be his big goal here just for these stages.
Definitely, because if he stays on the lead lap, the stage breaks in 10 laps. Just hang on. Be able to just don't chew your tires up. Don't hurt your car any more than it is. Just get moving to the next stage.
Right now, James Loveland still out front with a 1/6 of a second lead there over Sean Huffstutler. Matt Job there running third. Trevor Earhart starting to close that gap a little bit now from that 4th position. Johnston still hanging on the 5th part, and then back to Justice Murphy in here in 6th. And I got to give Justice Murphy credit in the 9. He's got major actual front end damage on that car and right front. And he's been hanging on very well. Same with Grant Thrope. He's got that right front damage in the 77. So those 2 in the 6th and 7th positions got damage, but hanging on very well right now.
And that's going to be so important, Zach, for later in the race. You know, if you can get through the first part with a little bit of damage, maybe that gives you a little bit of leeway as we ride with Rob Roeder. You know, he got into the wall, causing that last caution, never got into him. And so he's trying to make moves on the inside and make his position a little bit better as well.
Here comes the 53 Raider down to the bottom lane. Yeah, he's very, very strong here. Took that fast repair after the hit from Parker Johnston. Now, behind him, Ray Lane continues forward in the 55. He used his fast repair too. He would have started second had the EOL, had to go to the back of the field. So, man, this right here has definitely shook things up. Ray Lane would have been farther out towards front when he got caught in that wreck. But right now, he's charging back up through as he's trying to make the pass on Raider. Raider closed the door back in on there. As Johnston, though, what a run for him up from 11th to 5th.
And things are getting racy. 10 on back. You can see some of these cars fading, like Christopher Heights. He's fading, he's falling back. But all these cars making moves forward, making stage points much more important and much interesting to get, Zach. Do you think that they're thinking about stage points, or are they just trying to finish the stage?
You know, some of these guys I think are definitely thinking about stage points, but you know, a lot of times when you're out there as a race car driver, you kind of forget about those things when you're trying to go forward. And I think a few of them might even be a little frustrated just with getting caught up in that wreck. So they're trying to get as far forward and get their track position to stay out of any other carnage that happens tonight. But man, oh man, this is going to be fun to watch. Guys fighting for the points there to get themselves into the playoffs. It's going to be critical here. We've seen through all the series I've done here at Freaky Fast Broadcast, the stage points are one of the things that a lot of drivers give up that people could be gaining to make in the playoffs.
And you're seeing them move even further forward, making moves in 7th and 8th, and again, those stage points playing a factor in how they're racing each other and just wanting to race the track overall. And it's going to be curious of what the strategy is going to be coming out of the pits, especially with those people that did come in with the fast repair, possibly took tires just to make those moves.
Yeah, one of those drivers who made a big move, Ray Lane up to 6th in the 55. He just destroyed the right front off of 4 the lap before, so he's got some more damage after taking his fast repair. It's not as bad as it was, of course, because he kind of had to take the fast repair in his position. But man, oh, back here, some close racing between the 84 and actually, sorry, but that was the cars right around them. I'm trying to figure out exactly what that was. Sekrovich in the 3 and Walford in the 99. Very, very close between those two as they're in their blockbuster paint schemes.
A lot of interesting paint schemes. We see the typical Dick Trickle scheme from Days of Thunder there from the 84 of Cody Dorsey. These are just really amusing to watch, Zach. What do you think? Do you have a favorite so far?
Yeah, you know, personally, I'd have to go. Man, you gotta go James Loveland. You know, Tron is fast. It's a fast style movie, anyways, and he's making it fast right now because that 56 out front, cruising right now. 2 to go in this stage. He'll be taking the white flag next time by for stage 1. 56 of James Loveland. He's definitely having a Tron type of night.
And those top 4 cars, you know, Loveland's is second in front of him, and Sean is in front of him by about a second. So this is interesting. You see the lead cars separate themselves from the lead pack. This is going to be interesting to watch as Jason claws back through.
White flag, one final time to go here in stage number 1. James Loveland, what a run it's been from him in the 56 machine. Took the lead there from Matt Jobe. Never looked back. Coming out of 4 now. He's going to see the checker flag here for stage number 1. And we should see a yellow here any minute to be our stage caution as he wins tonight's opening stage here at the Underdog Racing League.
And there's the caution for the stage. It is the second caution of the evening after that wreck early on. We have a lot of cars clean, but some roughed up, and a lot of tires ready to be changed. It's going to be interesting, Zach, see the strategy and see if they top off on fuel or 2 tires. Do you think that's going to be a valid strategy?
Ooh, you know, strategy right here, I think it's going to be 4 tires here. I think the big thing for these guys, they especially waited to take these tires after not pitting during that first caution. They're going to say, you know what, we need to come down and get us 4 tires here and take our second set of the 4 and have us 2 more in pit road for 1 for that next stage stop and then 1 for maybe a caution at the end if you never know, a late dash for the end. So we'll see. Here's, man, oh man, the whole field there checking up off the back straightaway. That could have been calamity.
That was definitely close, but we're looking at the weather here, 77 degrees, decent humidity, but it's cloudy. The track temps is 86 degrees. You know, grip is going to be at the utmost factor and make the decisions. These tires are probably holding on better than some of these people thought they would. So it's going to be fun going forward and seeing the restart after the stage break.
As we come down pit road here, Loveland gonna lead us down as the 56 gonna stay here with a nice little gap he built up. But you know, looking back at those tires too, about a second and 2/10 there of a fall off. So you know that caution definitely helped him bring those tires back, as Loveland didn't do his fastest lap till lap 15 due to that caution helping to cool and bring them back down to earth, as he did a 23.71, which is far off of what we qualified on pole there. That's about 3/10 north of that, but that's still a great lap to run 15 laps into the run. Then, you know, into that stage there at a 24.94. So very much only about a second of fall off there from these guys. So Dover, you know, we're typical pretty giant fall offs, but with these shorter runs, 30 lap stages like this, these guys should be able to hang on to it pretty good. But that final 40 lap run is going to be the fun one.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be fun to watch these guys race to the end of lap, or I'm sorry, stage 2 at lap 60. But you hinted at it, Zach. That's interesting. The cold cycle that they had, even though that caution was early. So it is interesting that he had that fastest lap at lap 15.
Yeah, it really is interesting. You know, just it's something trend we see up here a lot of times here up in the booth that, you know, out there on the track you might not notice that much as a driver, but you get these cool down phases of these tires, you can see the tires come back almost upwards of a half a second on most tracks. And a track like this where tire temp is really important, you know, we're seeing these guys reaching to some pretty fast lap times, 15 laps into a run. I mean, you know, 3/10 off the pole, 15 laps into a race is pretty impressive. So we'll have to see what it does here if we can get a full run, because that tire tip won't have that point to get back down to a little bit lower of an area to make it easier to get to that stage ending. Maybe we'll see a little bit more fall off and a little bit more of change up of the lineup here, but it's going to be fun to watch coming down to the end. The tires are very critical here, and everybody's happy to be on a new set of 4, I'm sure.
Definitely, Zach. And looking back here at 7th place, Nick Alves, he started in 16th and he made his moves. He might have tapped the wall a couple times, but he seems to be moving up the track. The same with Bargenquist. He started almost dead last, 22nd, but he's there in 11th. So I want to see these racers start this stage and go for those stage points at the end. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I think if you're right there on the fringe, why not go for it? Especially, you know, usually the drivers right around that fringe area of the stage are the guys that are around the fringe and making the playoffs on points. So if you don't go for it, you know, with 4 races in the season, you might be kicking yourself saying, what if I would have got a few stage points here and there throughout the season to get me in the points? I mean, you know, you never know. You could end up missing this thing by 1 position and it just being a stage point. So we'll see how it all shakes out here. See if anybody can start to maneuver themselves farther up there and get themselves some points in that top 10. But we'll have to watch here. This is actually going to be a little bit shorter of a stage too. So, you know, with this 5 laps here that are kind of taken off by the caution lap. So really about a 26 to 25 lap run here.
And let's keep an eye on that 5 of Jason Finzler. You know, he's leading the points. He's in the back. I still don't think he took his fast repair, but he's there with fresh tires, probably a little bit patched up car. We're gonna have to see how fast he is and see if he can make it in the front.
Definitely looks like that car is still a little beat up, so elected to save that. I think he's saving that one for the end of this next stage, and then you'll see that 5 try to make his charge on his way up through. But James Loveland going to be out front in the Tron car. Alongside him is going to be Sean Huffstutler, Matt Job there in the inside lane on the second row. Alongside him is going to be Ray Lane as they get ready to do battle. And sorry, that's completely wrong. As that's Trevor Earhart on the outside. My lineup's a little bit messed up as the pace cars look to come in. James Loveland here out front. Going to be controlling this restart. Green flag is in the air. We're off and away as the 56 will lead us down to 1. Great start for him as they space out from roll back. It looks like Raider, the first one, making a move on the bottom.
And there's Loveland again in that 56 Tron machine, just darting out there just like a laser. He is gone again from the pack.
Out front like a flash here. This man is very quick here tonight. Loveland showing his pace and prowess here on the racetrack, looking for another win to add to his column here at the Underdog Racing League. in his stout record book here. But right now, you're looking at the battle here as Job trying to fight off Raider, as Raider now has Johnston going to his inside. Those two made contact already in this race. We'll have to see if those two maybe have some words for each other.
This is going to be fun to see if Johnston may, pay him back or see what happens. But there's Raider moving up. He has used that fast repairs, fresh tires, back up in the front of the pack. It's good to see him getting back up there, Zach, and trying to make advantage of a bad situation.
Yeah, definitely is great to see Raider back up there. He was a driver at some points in the season that looked to be taking the shine away from Jason Finzler, but Jason Finzler lately has been starting to add again to that total. Right now, James Loveland, he's trying to make his stamp on this season here at Dover, but right now, these drivers all doing battle with single file throughout this field at the moment, but we're going to have some very fun here as this stage continues to click through.
And they're all getting single file. They seem to be getting, a little bit long better in this stage than the last stage. They seem to get a hand, but there is Johnson getting close to Raider again, thinking about making that move.
As there goes the 48 of Parker Johnson. He is looking very, very tough on the inside of Raider as we ride on board the front carrier. Great shots of how bumpy and how wild this track is. You're falling 2 stories into the corner and then out of the corner, exiting the corner. You are climbing those 2 stories. So it is a very wild ride around here, and one of the more tracks that's very undulating.
And those bumps just add to the tire wear, add to that heat of those tires, and they just make it just, as you go along, it gets a little slicker, and then you add concrete on top of that, Zach. How crazy can that get?
Oh man, concrete is a whole different beast in itself, and some drivers not a fan of it, not got the most grip. Here at Dover, it tends to eat the tires up too, so it's a very tough place as you fall off into these corners at this 1 mile racetrack. It's really a stack up from 5th on back, as right now James Loveland is controlling the field out front here through the first 43 laps of this event here at the Dover International Speedway.
And there goes Johnson making a move on Raider again, still closing the door. It looks like Raider's holding up the rest of that 5 on back, and there goes Alves on the inside of Johnson making another corner there. He seems to be holding that inside line. He's going to make it stick, make for that pass.
Great moves from drivers back here throughout the field, trying to move themselves up. Alves is just very, very good in the SpongeBob machine, having fun around here. And, we've seen movie cars win around here before. I know Jimmy Johnson's winning the Madagascar car around here. So this track is very, very suited for the movie style themes here as they continue around this 1 mile racetrack there. As you can see, the battle behind Raider there in the Fast and Furious scheme, that number 53 with in the 5th place. He's got Alves and Johnston now again side by side as Alves made the pass. Johnston now back to the inside.
Man, that was really fun to watch too, because you see Alves get to the inside bumper of Raider there, and Johnston just took an advantage there because Alves had to get out of the throttle, didn't want to put Raider in the wall just yet. So he's trying to get a recovery and make that pass back.
All these drivers stacked up here from the 5th position back, and 3 seconds back from leader James Loveland, who really took off there with Sean Huffstetter. Trevor Earhart up the 3rd with Matt Jobe into the 4th position. It is kind of 2 different tales here. I don't know if Raider is just saving that much or if Raider's just struggling here tonight at Dover, because right now just losing time after time here. 4 seconds back now from James Loveland. It is definitely interesting to see how much these guys are struggling, as that lap 60 stage is approaching very quickly.
And with James Loveland in the field, putting on some really good times. He's not able to break away like he was in the last stage, though, as Hustetter's still about, half a second behind him, not the second as he was last time. So they're hanging in there, but still Trevor Hart in 3rd, about 1.3 back as the action heats up again for 5th spot.
Yeah, Raider with Johnston, they had fireworks fly the first lap. Johnston up into Raider, putting him up in the wall. We'll see same scenario here. Johnston to the inside, Raider to the outside. And there he goes, closing the door on the 48 as they continue to go around here, losing time, 4.5 seconds behind our lead as it's stacked up from 5th all the way back to Cody Dorsey in 12th position. I mean, it's It's a very big group of drivers right here.
And you can tell Rader's struggling with that car. He gets into the corner. He tries to make his stick, slides up a little bit. This time Johnson was able to back up. But here comes Alves on the bumper of Johnson. But you can tell Rader's just not having easy time with that car. Would you say that's the track or more the tires, Zach? Oh, as the car goes around. Oh, he saves it.
Peyton Presley with the save. Man, I don't know how he saved that thing, but Alan Barkenquist made a late dive to the inside there on the front straightaway, and Peyton Presley closed the door on the 11 and contact between those two, and that is a wild save there from the 11 machine.
And that is a hats off to the rest of those drivers. They were all stacked up fifth on back. There seems to be a break with that spin, but everyone kept it straight, kept it going, Zach. That's just really impressive at a track like Dover. What do you think?
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things is, you know, you're coming up on people so fast. This is a very, very fast racetrack. I mean, your minimum speed's around 140 mile an hour. I mean, you're traveling around this 1 mile racetrack at a very high rate. And when you have an incident like that in front of you happening, and, you know, not only Peyton Presley saving it like that, but the guys reacting around it like you alluded to, that is so hard to do, especially, like I said, with the closing rate of this racetrack.
And we see Johnson there fall a bit away from Rader as Alves makes a move. We have about 6 laps to the end of the stage. People get a little more aggressive now. They're really aiming for those stage points, starting to think of what they're going to do in the pit lane.
Cody Dorsey there, the last man in stage point contention there in the 10th position. Alan Barkenquist back to in the 17th, back to 11th. Justice Murphy in 13th. We'll see how they can move through. They're stuttered, and oh man, Dorsey into the outside wall. The 84. Here comes Barkenquist. He's trying to storm back into the top 10 and get some points.
And those points are so important. You see him making that move after Dorsey got into the wall. He's still down there on the inside line. He wants those points. What do you think, Zach? Do you think he's maybe put a bumper to him, bump and run?
Oh man, that would be an interesting scenario. We'll see here. Maybe a little door rubbing down the front straightaway, nice and clean between those two. Behind them though, Justice Murphy almost into the wall, stuttering around him in the 33 as they see stage points right ahead of them. It's the two drivers right there, and we'll be coming to 5 to go next time by side for 10th.
And we saw earlier with Rader and Johnson, you get side by side, you slow each other down, and as Dorsey gets past once, he gets past again. Looks like he may get past for a third one going down into one, but just goes to prove you lose that momentum, you're going to lose so many spots on this track.
And look at there, Stunnard. He's going to go by now too. He's up to 11th. Can he track down Barkenquist, who's got ahead of him? And man, Dorsey just sliding backwards in the late stage. Here's Finsler. He's coming into the picture with that hard car. Can he maybe score a point as he's back here in 14th?
And there's Finzler. He got caught up in that earlier wreck. He spent some extra time on pit road trying to fix his car, but here he is making a move, trying to make a break into the top 13, maybe making a run for that last stage point just because he can.
What a drive that would be from our points leader. Is now up to 12. He needs 2 more spots here. Don't know if he's going to have enough time with 3 to go. He can see it directly up ahead of him. But just possibly out of reach there, 2 cars. We'll see. I mean, right now he was a 10th quicker than both of them. So we'll see. He's closing in on Stunnard as Lovett out front. He takes the 2 to go here. Maybe Fizzler might have a shot here with 2 to go if he can make a quick move on the 33.
And we're seeing all these drivers really start to struggle with the handle on the cars. The tires are going away. They're heating up. They're getting a little slick. Finsler's, of course, he's fast. He's making another pass, trying to make that break in the 10th. But what do you think? We got a full run on this stage. Do you think it's going to affect the last stage as much? Do you think it's going to be a 4 tires on a green flag stop, Zach, or do you think it'd just be a little more conservative?
The question is going to be the fuel for these guys. We're under a white flag. They should have plenty of fuel to make it with a 65% load, but still, it's very interesting to see what that will be. As now they cross the start finish line, James Lovett going to win. We're going to have to see what they do, but I believe it's going to be 4 tires here and try to make it to the end of this race. Hopefully, save your tires just as good as they did here, but that's the stage caution, ladies and gentlemen. James Lovett, your stage 2 winner. We're going to head to a quick commercial break here while these drivers hit pit road, get all their cars serviced. And before we get going back green flag, we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
To be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Maconi Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Maconi Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MaconiSetupShop.com and learn why Maconi Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, we are back here, everybody, after that quick commercial break. Everybody hit pit road, got service done. We look like we got some fast repairs done. Jason Finzler up tonight. He looks like he's got a clean number 5. We'll see how it all plays out for him now, restarting there. But James Loveland, our winner of the first 2 stages, started 5th. What a night it's been for him there, as he's going to be looking to take us back to green flag racing. Sean Huffstetler alongside Matt Jobe, kept it up in the top 3 almost tonight. Trevor Earhart in 4th, Robert Rader 5th. Pace car is in. Maybe the last restart of the night, we'll have to see. It's in the control of the 56 Tron machine. He's off and away. Green flag is in the air. James Loveland with another great start. The pull out ahead down into 1. Huffstetler going to hang on to 2nd, but the battle for 3rd heats up.
We have Earhart on the outside of Job. Here's
looks like that's Raider down the back straightaway with a 24 of Nick Alves. What a move there. Alves up top. He's going to be probably the one who loses out at it as Raider hangs on the 5th. Here comes Jason Finzler back here in the 5-2. He dives underneath Alves as he slides forward up into position. He's made a few up since the start. Finzler on the move from up to 7th. Does he have something for these guys up front?
And there you see on the outside of Robert there, he's trying to make that move. We know he's fast. He topped practice. He topped qualifying. He's going to try and make a move on turn 1 there. He's on the bumper, but man, he is looking for that lead. He doesn't want to let James Loveland get too far away because he knows once he gets that far away, he's just not going to catch him.
Definitely got to think about that. It's going to be so hard once the tires get old to pass. There he goes underneath the 53. There's the 5 of Jason Fizzler. He's broken to the top 5 early here in the final stage of this race. Does he have enough to catch down that 56? Nobody's had enough all night. He's going to have to show what he's had lacking all night with that damage. As right now, Joe back to 4th. He's on the back bumper at Earhart. They got to be looking behind him saying, oh no, he's back again.
And Jason, he is really wheeling that machine around the around the track here as he gains on Job. You know, like you said, he sees that number 5 creeping in the mirror. Oh, as he goes to the inside, thinks better of it, checks up. You know he's going to be making that move in the next corner. Zach, do you think he's just trying to get everything he can just to see what the tires do and not worry about what happens later in the race?
I think that's what he's doing. I think he's throwing all caution to the wind about saving tires. I think he knows that he can't wait too long. He needs to go up here and get into at least a decent position before he starts to conserve a little bit, because right now he is going full on out trying to get every position, every bit of track position. You never know. We get a caution here in 15 laps. The more positions he gets, we're probably going back down pit road for those last sets of tires. We'll see what he does, though, here. He's trying to gain. He diamonds up the racetrack, cuts it back down with the big run here coming down the front straightaway. As he's got the Job, though, it's been tough. These cars are a little bit quicker, been the quickest cars of the day right here, these front 4. He's going to have a tougher time getting by them, but what a position there. Powers his way to the inside off of 2.
And he's just showing how strong and fast that car is. Not a couple laps ago, he's 1.6 down. He's actually gaining on the leaders, about 1.1, about 1 second back. He's putting his sights on Trevor Earhart, ready to make that pass. So, Zach, he's just gunning for it. He just wants to lead. He just wants to win. Being a racer, doing what a racer does.
That he is, gunning for that 7th win of the season, now up to 4th. Job's had a great run. He's back to 5th now, but Trevor Earhart, he's going to have the 5 next in his mirrors, and you can see just in that camera shot, I mean, the 5 just diving into the camera shot saying, I'm home, guys. I'm back where I deserve to be. I got out of that mess. I made it to the end, and I'm ready to fight with a clean car.
And it's just fun watching him run because he's gaining on the leader, a little here, a little there, a 10th there. He's under a second away. Do you think James sees him yet? Is he worrying about him, James Loveland, or is he just James running his own race, just making sure he keeps it clean?
I think James knows that his abilities to be very, very good in the long run are what is going to be the best case scenario here. And also the clean air. That clean air is going to play so critical. Right now, Loveland could be out there very much pacing himself. We've seen him put a much bigger gap on the likes of Earhart and Job before. Maybe pacing himself just a little bit here. He also knows he's got a good friend in behind his Sean Huffsteller there behind him, who's also very good on the long runs. It's going to be tough for Finzler to get by these 3 guys right here, especially Earhart too. Very, very tough drivers. Right now, we can see the lap times comparing Loveland and Jason Finsler. He was quicker on 3 of those laps, but that last lap by, James Loveland picked it up a little bit there for us. He's got that clean air out front. We'll see how it all plays out. I do think it's all going to come down to holding Finsler off, though, for James Loveland.
And, Zach, how much patience does Jason Finsler have right now? He sees it. There's 25 laps to go, almost wrapping up this 100-lap race, but he also wants to win the blockbuster movie theme race here at Dover International Speedway. You know he wants that win. How patient should he be right now?
Ooh, that's always the prime question, you know. But Jason Finsler, if I know anything about this guy for the seasons we've done here so far, he's actually very methodical, very, very, very quick and has a lot of pace, but he's not the type to shove his nose in anywhere that is going to create too many issues. He'll take the chances that he knows he can make it out of. He won't take too many chances to ruin anybody's race or take a chance to ruin his own race. So I think he'll be smart here as he's getting to the inside now, as he's just letting him make mistakes himself to wash up off the bottom. Now to the inside of Earhart off of 4. He looks like he's going to have that no problem. Down to 1 clears him, and he's going to get the 3rd. And like I said, he just seems to wait for those mistakes to happen, and then that's when he pounces. 23 to go, though. The front 2 has started to check out a little bit. We'll see if he can pick it up now. He's got a little clean track.
Well, look at the front 2, James Loveland and Sean Huffstedler. We saw Loveland in the last 2 stages just check out. The first stage he won by easy, 2 seconds. The second stage, a second. But now he's a quarter of a second in front of Sean Huffstedler. Sean is not letting James out of his sights. Do you think that's going to make them rethink their strategy and how they want to race each other with Jason being right behind him?
It is always a tough spot here because, you got Finsler coming from behind, but you want to make sure he doesn't run you down, but at the same time you kind of want him at a close proximity. So personally, you never want to push too hard where you feel like you're overusing your stuff, because once he gets within that half a tenth to 3 to 4 tenths area, it gets so much tougher to follow and make lap time. So we'll have to see what these guys decide to do. If I'm out front, am very much conserving and being very gentle in my car, just making clean, smooth laps, getting to the bottom, never overworking the tire, just using exactly what it gives you.
And it looks like the top 6 are all doing that. Jason Finzler is kind of steadied out about second back and third. That second pack of 3 cars with led by Trevor Earhart, you have Matt Joe behind him. They're trying to work around each other, but I don't see a lot of urgency there. It sounds like all these drivers are saving, maybe possibly for a late restart, but definitely wanting to see it through to the end, Zach.
And right now, 19 to go. Final Boro Huffstedler, he's been able to keep good tracks on this 56, but now that 56 start to put a little bit of a gap there, building on that 94. So he washes up the racetrack. He's going to cut it back down here on exit to get the good run off the exit. And so Huffstedler again, another good exit off of 4 there. These top 3 very similar in pace. The big thing here is going to be how they transverse these last 18 laps on these tires. If it stays green, who's going to have the best tires? If it doesn't stay green, who's going to decide to pit? Who's going to decide to stay out? We got all types of different strategies. At that point, we'll have to see who pulls it up. But Loveland, they're definitely starting to pick it up out front.
And like you said, Zach, Loveland's definitely picking it up, and so is Jason. Jason's sneaking under that second mark of the difference there. So I'm wondering if there's something going wrong with Sean Huffstedler. Maybe he lost a line, tires wearing out. We're about as far as we got into the last stage, and this is where we started seeing people kind of slide up that track. So it is going to be fun to see, Zach, if there's that late race caution, who pits and who does not.
Coming out of 4, you can see him climbing on out, how close they are to the outside. Wow, 16 to go. Finzler's closing in on Huffstedler. We also just seen Finzler, how hard he charged up through the field, how many passes he had to make, how many moves he had to make with a good bit of use of that grip of them tires. It's amazing to see that he still has a good bit of tire left here, able to contend with this 94 machine. As he goes to the inside, the battle for second heats up. Finzler trying to make the move here, and this is going to give him the chance in these final 15. He does it. Jason Finzler up to second. He's going to have a chance here in the final 15 to run down that 56 strong machine, something nobody's done tonight. As there you see it, Huffstedler just not being able to run as quick now, as we'll switch the times around. Loveland able to turn quicker lap times there, 3 of the 5 laps.
I was noticing this blockbuster movie theme night. I didn't see a Jaws, but you can kind of hear the theme music in the background. Jason creeping up on Loveland. We have 14 laps to go, and nothing but clean track in front of him. This is going to be really interesting, Zach, really quick.
And this is all going to come down to Loveland. He's just going to have to be calm, patient here, not overdrive. If that 5 starts to catch you, don't lose focus of that and think and get into that wall, because we've seen it before here in the Underdog Racing League. The 56, a lot of pace at multiple times, but has gotten to the wall late in the going or early in the going that has ruined some of his chances at wins. Right now, he's trying to hold on to it out front. Finzler trying to do his best and close it down, as he is doing that right now. The battle with 12 to go. Jason Finzler, 6 wins. He's trying to get a 7th.
And here we are riding and looking at Grant Thorpe. We saw him brush the wall earlier in the race. Just didn't seem to have the speed he had earlier. He just kind of mired in 10th, 11th. Do you think that damage really did more, or as we go to this 52nd in that Trans Am, smoking the bend, I gotta love it. Do you just think that these guys just didn't have the pace and just not their night tonight?
I just seen, it seems like he's got that damage cleaned up. He's got a fast repair, so it's just seeming like it's not played out that great for Grant. He was a winner at Nashville, but at the same time, his win at Nashville was off circumstance. He did a very great job of strategy, calling the tire strategy right, staying out at the right moment, getting the win there on that concrete racetrack. So we were hoping maybe he could carry a little bit of that success in here tonight, but right now, outside that top 10, he's going to be trying to claw his way forward as it's about a second up ahead of him.
And then you see Alan Bargenquist making that move. He's up quite a few spots, 10 spots it looks like. So he's made a move. He's done a lot of work tonight. Good to see that car making moves. It's fun to see all these cars driving and still racing each other clean.
9 to go. Bargenquist just made that pass. Great job by him to move himself forward up to the 12th spot, as you alluded to, but coming to 8 to go. It's a 9/10 of a second lead. It stayed around that second mark, so it's stabilized. We'll see if Finzler can do anything with it. They're about a 10th that time, but he's going to have to do a lot here with 8 to go at the 8/10 of a second lead, because getting there is one thing, passing is another. Is Trevor Earhart. He moves up to third with the pass on Sean Stellar.
And there, we documented Sean maybe having some handling issues on the car, and him just falling back just a little bit more makes me wonder if he just burned his stuff up a little too quickly. But Zach, we have lap cars coming up in front of the leaders. Maybe that's the break Jason's waiting for to make that move for the lead. Do you think lap cars are going to make that big of a difference, Zach, or is it just not going to be that big of a deal?
Well, looking at it right here, about a half a second a lap time difference between these lap cars, and with the gap they have, Lovewood should be there around 2 to 3 to go on these lap cars. That could play a factor, especially with Finzler closing in. It's down to 7/10 and under 7/10 now, as the pressure is going to ramp up, especially as they get the lap cars. The dirty air is going to play just as much factor to the Loveland as it is to Finzler right now once they get within range.
And this is going to be fun to watch as Jason starts creeping up more. He's still, hanging around that 7:10, so getting a little better. Oh, he had a great run there going down the front stretch. So here we go, 5 to go. Lap cars may be becoming an issue, Zach. This is going to be fun to watch.
And that time, Loveland got into the wall. So that last time by, that was what caught it so close there. It's really closing down now. That 56 starting to struggle. The 5 starting to find the speed. We're going to be coming to 4 to go. It's under a half a second here. Jason Finzler, he's trying to get the 7th win. We thought he was out of this race, was involved in a wreck early, had a lot of damage. He's fought back here in this final stage. Nobody's had nothing for Loveland all night. Does Finzler have it, though?
4/10 of the second back. He's getting closer. We're coming up on some lap cars, Zach. This is going to get really intense. Is Jason going to just show any patience, or is he going to make that move whenever he can?
3 to go. There are the lap traffic. You see it up high. Christopher Heights. This is going to play out terrible for Loveland. He catches him right at the exit, and Finzler does it. He's gaining the ground down to 2 car lengths. Now 1 into 3 and 4. Finzler drives it in deep, cuts it down. They're going to be coming to 2 to go this time. Big run from the 5, and still lap traffic ahead.
We have the looks like the 15 machine in front of them. They're trying to get around him. 2 to go. Jason has the run. Here it comes on James Loveland coming down the back stretch. Going into 3, waiting for the white flag.
Finzler in deep, out of 4. We're going to have the freaky fast white flag. If you want to have your logo or your company up on our broadcast for your white flag presenting, hit us up on social media. This is wild down to the end. Jace and Finzler, James Loveland off of 2. Finzler has the run. Where does he go? Does he go to the bumper? He goes to the bumper. He hits the 56. 56 up the racetrack off of 4. I think Loveland has it coming out of the corner. The lap car's there. James Loveland wins it at Dover.
What an amazing race. You saw Jason use that bumper, but he seems like he had to back off on it a little bit. And there is James Loveland in the 56 Tron machine tonight with your win at Dover International Speedway.
What a job by the 56. What a race. What a drive for James Loveland. What a drive for Jason Finsler. Trevor Earhart going to come up in third. It has been a fantastic race there down to the end here at Dover. And what a night it has been, man. As James Loveland going to bring it down here on the front straightaway to do his celebrations tonight here at this track, as it's his first win of the season. Not his first win here at the Underdog Racing League, but first win of the season. It's going to feel good to get that monkey off his back. Second win of this week on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. He won here on Monday night. What a night it's been for him. He's going to have another shot at it, possibly on Saturday night, I believe, too. So James Loveland, he's going to be trying to rack it up the wins here on Freaky Fast this weekend as he burns them down on the front straightaway. We'll be back in a few moments, everybody, as we compile our top 3 drivers to get our podium interviews. We'll be back in a few moments. All right, we are back here, folks, with our post-race interviews. As we got Trevor Earhart, our third place man here in the 25. What a great night it was for him. Let's hear from himself after a strong fight here tonight at Dover. Hey, Trevor, Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great, man. I tell you what, kept her up in that top 5 all night long in that 25 machine. Looked great and was able to come with a solid top 3, man. How does that feel getting out of Dover here with another top 3?
Well, after the last 2 weeks, it feels really good. Had the opportunity there to win at Bristol, got caught up in that little incident there at the end. Got caught up in a wreck at Talladega, so it feels great to be up here in the top 3. Car ran good all night. Kept the tires on it. That was the key. Kept it out of the wall. Kept the tires good, and was able to run Sean down there at the end to get around him to get to third.
Yeah, we see you able to get him there in the closing laps, man, to get third. So congrats on that. Kept it up front all night, like you said. Pretty good, solid night here at Dover, man. And like you said, after a tough couple weeks, man, we head off to Chicagoland. 3 weeks left before we head into the playoffs. Trevor, how important do you think it is to keep this, these style runs up to get ready for those playoffs?
It's going to be huge. I am a momentum person. Obviously, I know you guys broadcast the other leagues, and we've kind of had a string of bad luck on Monday nights. But I think going forward here, it's just going to be consistent. Try to get top 5s going into the playoffs, and then give it a real shot once we get in there and see what we can do.
Well, man, it's going to be fun to watch you guys do battle through these next few weeks and take it on the racetrack before we head off into the playoffs, man. But before we let you get out here, Trevor, anybody want to send a shout to, man?
As always, shout out to you guys for the great broadcast. Shout out to the league for putting on a great show. Really clean race for Dover. Shout out to my teammate Loveland, congratulating him on the win, and shout out to BOK for coming on the car, the Earhart group, and everybody involved that helps me show up on Wednesdays.
Well, Trevor, congrats on third, man. We'll catch you next week at Chicagoland. You have a great night, and we'll see you there, man.
Thank you. You guys too.
All right, everybody. That was your third place man of Trevor Earhart in the 25 machine. Now we're going to move on to our second place man, your points leader, 6-time winner this season, Jason Fizzler, just coming up a little bit short here tonight in the number 5 machine. Let's hear from him in that car. Hey, Jason, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, man, what a rebound it was tonight. Had to start out back after qualifying out front, man. Got caught up in an incident, and explain to us the rebound from there, because it seems like you saved the fast repair to the last moment and was able to charge up through, almost getting to the victory, but we'll get into that battle later.
Yeah, we got a penalty from the last race, so it's kind of a product of what happens when you have to start out in the back. You just got to try and methodically work your way through. Just got caught up in a wreck. Really nobody's fault. It just kind of happens at Dover. It's a pretty small, tight little racetrack as far as the straightaways are concerned. And we just got caught up and had no choice but to save the fast repair as late as I possibly could, just to try and in case anything like that happened again. So we were able to rebound.
Yeah, very much a rebound, man, and almost a rebound to the win. I mean, take us through those final moments, because that got pretty close there. Loveland seemed to start struggling there a little bit, and you definitely kept coming even after starting in the 9th position on that final start for that stage.
Yeah, just I had to push the car pretty hard to get that track position. To be honest with you, I was kind of hoping we could get that track position and yellow would come out and we'd be pretty good shape. Didn't happen, so I had to use tires up pretty good to get up there, and still had something for him, but he did what he had to do going into 3 there. I thought I could maybe go to the outside of him, but he had a nice arc into 3, so we had no choice but to just bring her home second. Still happy with that. Good points night, so we'll move on to the next one.
That it was, man. Another good points night from our points leader, man. Before we let you get out of here, Jason, and head off to Chicago next week, anybody wants to shout to?
Yeah, again, you guys do a great job on the broadcast. All the families and friends that tune into it, they enjoy watching it and really like your guys' part. So appreciate that. And all the guys in the league. And Kevin for doing the paint job tonight, came out awesome. So little throwback, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Paint scheme looked great out there tonight. Looked good and ran very well there in the last stage for sure, man. Congrats on second, and we'll catch you next week in Chicago, Jason.
Sounds good, boys. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. That was your second place man, Jason Finzler, bringing it home there in second after 6 wins this season. So close again, but just what a drive for him to get up there. But the man who couldn't be touched tonight is in that Tron machine. The number 56, James Love, with his first win of the season here in the Underdog Racing League. Second win this week at Freaky Fast. Let's hear from him. Hey, James, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I tell you what, man, it's 2 times in a row that I'm talking to you from Victory Lane. You're up here Monday night winning in that league. Now up here, get your first win of this league here this season. How good does it feel, though, to get the monkey off the back here at the Underdog Racing League and check off that win here at Dover?
Yeah, it feels really good. Had a really solid car today. Just right at the end, it got a little pressure because I didn't realize he was coming that fast. But yeah, all in all, solid day. Happy with the result.
Yeah, definitely a wild ending there. He definitely closed in pretty quickly there. It looks like you may even touched the wall there late to go. How tough is it not to make a mistake here at Dover when someone's that close, especially because late in those runs, it's got to be hard to keep these things out of the wall using all the racetrack.
Oh yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, you get out of the corner and you're just about instantly going back into the corner turning. So, and when you come off the exit, it's got a weird bump kind of. So it's really difficult to kind of keep the car off the wall. I managed to only just scrape it. I barely touched it, so was fortunate enough of that, and had a solid run, solid car.
Yeah, definitely a solid run here tonight, man. We got 3 races before we head off into the playoffs, man. Not had a win this season, but had 8 top 5s leading up to this point. in the 12 starts. So had a great season nonetheless. Just hasn't really came up with a win yet. But here tonight, getting that, man, how does that feel before we head off into the playoffs? To kind of end out this regular season with a good momentum boost, possibly.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. Broke the ice of not getting a win. Just need something good to happen, and so far this week's going really good for me.
That it has, man. It can continue to go better for you too, man. We hope that it does. But before we let you get out of here and go celebrate this thing and head off to Chicagoland next week here, man, anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for a great broadcast, and shout out to the league for doing these events, and shout out to our team. We finally got a victory for the team. That's great. F5.
Properties. That's pro. All right, say something. Okay, it's picking me up. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We have a little technical problem here.
Hello, we're sitting here. All right, sorry about that, everybody. As we'll be trying to get our results up, and there they are, race results. As we had some technical difficulties, James Loveland gonna bring home the race win here. And that number 56 machine second is going to go to Jason Finzler. Third is going to be Trevor Earhart. Fourth is going to go to Sean Husteller. Fifth is going to be Ray Lane. Sixth is going to be Matt Job. Seventh is going to be Justice Murphy. Eighth is going to be Nick Alves. Ninth is going to be Kevin Orlando Jr. And 10th is going to go to Alan Bargainquest. 11th is going to be David Boyle. 12th is going to be Grant Thrope. 13th, Parker Johnston. 14th is going to be Peyton Presley. 15th, Scott Kerberg. 16th, Jacob Sekovich. 17th, John Magner. 18th is Christopher Heights. As we and 19th gonna be Robert Rayner, 20th gonna be Cody Dorsey, 21st Justin Stunner, 22nd Dylan Walterman, and 23rd to round your field it is Dane Moyer. As that's your race results here tonight from the Underdog Racing League here at the Dover International Speedway. Any final thoughts before we head out of here, Carl, tonight, Dover, man?
No, other than the fact that playoffs are coming up and everyone's intensity, everyone's looking for that win. You saw Jason, yeah, he has 6 wins on the season, almost half the races, but that win is still important. Those playoff points carry through. So intensity is going to ramp up. I'm looking really forward to Chicagoland.
It is going to be fun heading to Chicagoland. I cannot wait to up here in the booth. So don't miss out on all that action here live at 8:30 Eastern on Wednesday nights here at the Underdog Racing League. So make sure you hit that subscribe, that bell notification button to know when we go live each and every time. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up button to help us out there on the YouTube algorithm side. But thank you all again for tuning in here tonight. Don't miss out on tomorrow night's action at Stars and Stripes here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But it's been a beautiful night up here in the booth at the Underdog Racing League. We always want to say God bless you and peace out to all you at home. And y'all all have a wonderful night.